All right, guys, so we got a lot to cover. I've been getting a lot of great feedback about the podcast. You may or may not be able to hear this in my voice. I'm pretty sick. I'm pretty worn out. So I'm going to try and keep this one especially brief. One of the things I've been told is that I should give people a little background on who I am, why my opinion matters, and why I'm doing this blog, or this video blog. I do separate blogs also. I'm a longtime MMA journalist. I've been a fan of the sport for almost 10 years. I've been a professional writer for the last 2 or 3, first with Prognostication Station, now with MMAOpinion. I've been a longtime moderator at MMAforum.com, which is one of the biggest MMA communities on the net. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I'm starting to branch out into print journalism. For those who are interested in print journalism, for those people who buy MMA magazines, even though they're pretty borderline right now, I definitely suggest checking out Fighters Only. I have an op-ed coming out in Fighters Only, which is a UK-based magazine, but they do sell them in the United States, and it's one of the better magazines, so check it out. As far as this video blog goes, it's kind of hard for me to do long video blogs because I'm capped at 10 minutes because of YouTube, and also because I'm trying to keep it short, because as someone who uses YouTube a lot, I know people have short attention spans. I try and keep things fun with the text tool, but still I'm going to try and keep it as just a recap, and I'm going to post articles in the side so that if you want some longer stuff, you can listen to me blather endlessly in text instead of listening to me do it in a video. There's a lot of stuff coming that I'm going to try and do. I've gotten a lot of requests for interesting stuff, especially from my buddies at FightTicker.com, Permit's site, including a request for puppets, hand puppets. So we'll see how that goes. And I will mess around with that stuff in the future. I'm a little worn out this week. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on. There's a brief recap of UFC 90. Generally a pretty good event for me. I went 8 for 10 in terms of picks. I picked the entire undercard, which I was pretty surprised by because that almost never happens. If you want to check my picks, they're available all over the internet. I keep a record of them with MMA Playground, which is, in my opinion, the best gambling site on the internet. In terms of the overall quality of the event, I was kind of disappointed in Fabricio Verdum, who seemed to buy into his own hype about his stand-up improving. There's a difference between your stand-up improving and your stand-up being good, and Fabricio Verdum seemed to make that mistake. So I was disappointed in that. He should have taken that fight straight to the ground and won with a submission. I have mixed feelings about the Dan Miller decision, which you can watch on UFC.com. I believe it's still up. It's towards the end of their little runner bar. Horwich to me looked like the more aggressive fighter. I like Miller better. I've called Miller a real prospect. But he made some really rookie mistakes that I don't think a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt should be making. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, especially under Renzo Gracie, should know not to put his hands on the floor, even if he doesn't quite understand the rubber guard. It's kind of a rudimentary mistake. That said, he's still a great fighter. He looked way better standing up. He probably did win round 1 in a lot of people's minds. He definitely won round 3. So on that ground, I can understand the decision. I was happy that Alves won, even though I predicted Koscheck by unanimous decision. I think Alves makes a much better opponent for Georges St. Pierre. And I'll talk a little bit about that matchup in future episodes. I will admit I didn't expect Cote to do as well as he did. I thought Anderson Silva showed him a little bit too much respect. In case you don't understand what it means by showing too much respect, that's when you kind of keep your distance from a fighter and you don't go toe-to-toe with him. Anderson Silva probably could have moved around in the pocket with Cote, but he showed some respect to Cote's striking. That's fine. It'll be a rematch, and Cote definitely deserves a rematch because that freak injury is a bullshit loss on his record, and we all know it. Elite XC also folded this week. That news broke a couple of days ago. We covered it in the MMA Opinion podcast. So if you want to check that out, I go into a lot of depth about it with Brant DeLorenzo, who is also a writer at MMAOpinion, actually owns the site. I definitely recommend checking that out. Alright, so that's kind of the whole thing for this week. Sorry there are no cool editing tools. I'm swamped with work and class, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I will try and keep you guys updated, and I'll try and make the next few video blog episodes a little more interesting. Alright, peace.